Hello, my name's Jason Smolen. I'm with the law firm of SmolenPlevy. We're located in Tyson's Corner, and today I would like to talk to you about downsizing in this troubled economy. These are very challenging times, and companies have been required to let people go. And the reason is not discriminatory, it's economic. There are right ways and things you must avoid, but the answer is a little bit different depending on the size of the company, the number of employees, and what the company's trying to achieve. The larger companies have HR departments, but they consult with us all the time anyway, especially on special situations like this. This is not the run-of-the-mill scenario where one employee hasn't shown up for 20 days without explanation, things of that sort. Most of the drive for what is happening now is economic. Companies have to cut down, they have to save money. If they do it in such a way that invites lawsuits, they don't save money. It costs them money. So it's very important to be certain that when you let someone go or let a department go, that it's done in a fair, legal way so that you accomplish your objective without the cost and you save the money. Doing it wrong costs much more than doing it right. Most companies know, most employers know that under the laws of most states you can fire for good reasons, even bad reasons, or no reason at all, but you cannot fire for an illegal reason. The ones that are most common that people would think of are age discrimination, sex discrimination, religious discrimination, things of those sort. The goal is to make sure when you're firing in a more across-the-board fashion that it does look like it's across the board, not that you're picking and choosing and discriminating along the way. Doing so will invite lawsuits. Have to be careful when, for example, if you're letting go of the most senior hire, the issue becomes, are you just firing all the old guys? Now, logic may say, well, I'm most cost efficient there because the senior people may have seniority and have the most expense to the company. But they may also bring the most value to the company, so it's never a bright line on how you do it. It really does have to be an individual decision. Generally, when a company is determining to let a number of employees go, first it has to look at its numbers and decide what it has to accomplish and what it has to do to accomplish it. You have to be certain that when you make the decisions on what type of jobs should be let go or cut from the organization, that you're not crippling the organization. Take a look at your departments and your employees once you've decided what positions are being eliminated. And then once you're fitting in which individual personnel are the ones that are being let go, take a look at what's going to look like after you're done and what do you have left. And if you have the same demographics and you sort of have a broad spectrum of employees and you look like a smaller version of what you were before, it's not likely that anyone will think it was discriminatory and they'll understand it was across-the-board cuts because you did it across the board. It's when you have an inconsistent policy that appears to vary from department to department and how you dealt with it that you open the opportunity for an action for discrimination. And I can tell you we've been involved in lawsuits where everybody did everything right but it didn't look right and our clients spent a fortune dealing with a case because ultimately you end up in federal court. It's very expensive litigation, and in one small case our client spent $50,000 to prove they were right. You need to be able to document, if need be, why you kept or let go certain people. And those reasons have to be the legal reasons and should be the legal reasons. But at the end of the day, good business judgment that you can demonstrate on why you kept certain employees and let go certain employees is very strong evidence in a court. I don't want to suggest that someone should document every reason they accept or do not accept a person, because you could be completely right, but every time you come up with a reason and you list it, you give someone an opportunity to say, I don't agree with that reason. So we don't want to spell out every single reason. How you deliver the news can dramatically affect what the outcome is to the employees, how they perceive their own self-esteem, their worth, how they believe the company's been treating them. I received a number of phone calls from a client where we absolutely choreographed a layoff. Everything was set up. We knew who we were letting go. It was all set to work perfectly. The HR office was going to call in one employee at a time, explain to them what was happening, what needed to be done, and let that person go. No one was going to claim that these were not qualified employees or they were being let go for any reason but the economics. What happened, though, was the HR office used the paging system, called in the first employee. When that employee walked out of the office, within minutes, everybody knew that he or she was let go. And then the HR office paged the next person. It was absolutely terrible. Ultimately, that HR person was let go. They were never meant to page. They were never meant to call in. They were supposed to retrieve that person, bring them into the office, let them know they needed to speak about it. So here was a wonderfully, beautifully choreographed arrangement for a very unpleasant task that was then implemented in the most horrendous and insensitive fashion possible. You had a perfect example of a very well-arranged, fairly administered layoff that went horribly wrong. When someone's brought into the room and it's explained to them it's for economic purposes, if you can have one other person in the room, that's advantageous. It's usually better if two people are there. You're going to get questions. They're going to want to know why me, how come me. You pretty much have to stick to a script. Usually we draft a script with the consent of management and the HR office that explains the reasons, and we don't divert from that. All the reasons why you're letting one person go among many have to be decided and resolved by the time you make the decision. Once you're having the meeting, it should be carefully choreographed. If you can offer any separation benefits, you put them on the table and you make those available to the employee as well, but you don't vary. If they ask, why me, you'll say it was a management decision. If you have a type of system where you can immediately shut off all access to everything, you must do it. You must also ask for the keys at that meeting or accompany the employee to their desk for the keys. If they have a computer that belongs to the corporation or the company, you must accompany them, get the computer, bring it in. If they have a phone or a BlackBerry, some BlackBerries work on an enterprise arrangement and the IT department can turn it off right away. You do it. You clean it, you clear it, you turn it off, or you get it back. If there's an agreement that you're going to let them keep their phone, you have to get all the company data out. Disgruntled employees are a huge danger and risk to a company that, especially that's got technologically sensitive information. The device that's typically employed will be a letter that you can present to the employee that will have them agree that they've either returned everything or will promptly bring everything back, and that they're advised that these things are being done so that they understand it. That same letter, by the way, would have, if you're going to give them a severance or a pay through the end of a week or a month or anything of that sort, you try to present it in one package so there's that give and take. But a company does not have to apologize for wanting to protect its interests. I'm Jason Smolen. I can be contacted at SmolenPlevy 703-790-1900 or J.D. Smolen, S-M-O-L-E-N, at SmolenPlevy, SMOLENPLEVY.com. For email, if you have any questions concerning the content of this material or any other business-related or tax-related material, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.